Let me take you back to a quiet autumn evening in the American countryside. I was 18 at the time, still living at home with my parents on our remote family farm. It was one of those places you see in old movies. Rolling fields stretching out forever, a long gravel driveway, and only about 7 other farms scattered along the same lonely road. My parents had moved us there for the peace and the space. But on nights like that one, the isolation felt more like a weight pressing down. That particular night, my parents were away for the evening. They left me alone with our big black Labrador, Max. He was my constant companion, loyal, protective, and usually calm. I was upstairs on the old couch in the living area, half watching a movie on low volume. The TV's soft glow was the only light in the room. The house was settling into its usual nighttime rhythm, floorboards creaking here and there, the faint hum of the fridge downstairs, the occasional gust of wind rattling the windows. Around 11 o'clock, everything changed. 3 loud, deliberate knocks echoed through the house. Knock, knock, knock. They came from the front door directly below me, at the bottom of the staircase. Not soft taps, not wind or a branch. Sharp, intentional, like someone standing right there demanding to be let in. Max reacted instantly. He shot up from his bed beside me, hackles raised, and started barking furiously, deep guttural barks that echoed off the walls. He charged down the stairs so fast I barely had time to process what was happening. I called his name and tried to calm him, but he was in full guard mode, positioned right in front of the door, growling low and menacing into the darkness beyond. My heart slammed against my ribs. Who could possibly be out there at this hour? No one drives down our road after dark unless they live here. No delivery services come this far out. Friends don't just drop by unannounced in the middle of nowhere. I crept halfway down the stairs, gripping the banister so hard my knuckles turned white. "Hello?" I called out. My voice sounded small and shaky even to me. No answer. Just the sound of Max's growls and my own breathing. I called again, louder this time. "Is someone there?" Silence. Thick, oppressive silence that made the house feel smaller, like the walls were closing in, after what felt like an eternity, but was probably only a minute or two. I forced my legs to move the rest of the way down. Max was still tense, ears flat, staring at the door like he could see through it. I reached out with trembling fingers and cracked the door open, just enough to peek outside. Nothing. The courtyard was pitch black. No porch light on. We'd turned them off to save energy. No car headlights, no shadowy figure retreating down the driveway. No footprints in the gravel when I shone my phone flashlight around. Just cold night air rushing in, carrying the faint smell of damp earth and hay from the barns. I slammed the door shut, locked it, double-checked every bolt, then ran upstairs and locked myself in again. My hands wouldn't stop shaking as I called my parents. They sounded worried but tried to stay calm. Within minutes, they'd contacted our closest neighbors, a kind older couple who lived about half a mile away. The neighbors arrived quickly, flashlights in hand. I told them everything, my voice cracking. They walked the entire property, around the barns, the sheds, the fields, searching for any sign of an intruder. 10 agonizing minutes later, they came back empty-handed. No tracks, no broken fences, nothing out of place. Still, they insisted I come stay in their guest room for the night. "It's safer," they said, their voices low and serious in a way that unnerved me more than the knocks themselves. I refused. I couldn't leave Max alone. But before they left, they made me promise to call if anything at all happened again. The next day, my parents came home and immediately installed security cameras around the front door. "Just to give you peace of mind," they said. I tried to convince myself it was over. A prank, a lost traveler, anything rational. Months passed. Life returned to normal. Then at my parents' 25th wedding anniversary dinner, I ended up talking privately with the female neighbor who'd come that night. I thanked her again for helping me. Her face changed. She hesitated like she was deciding whether to speak. Then she leaned in close. "I have to be honest with you," she said quietly. "That night, right before your parents called me, I was outside with the horses saying goodnight. The yard was dead silent, no wind, no cars in the distance. Then I heard footsteps clear as day, crunching on gravel, slow, purposeful, coming from the direction of your house." She paused, eyes distant, remembering. They walked around the courtyard, then stopped. Dead center, like whoever it was just stood there. I waited for them to move, to speak, to do anything. But there was only silence, heavy silence. And moments later, your parents called about the knocking. She never heard the footsteps leave. Even now, almost 2 years later, being home alone on that farm still makes my skin crawl. The house is old, built in 1865, but records show another farm stood on that exact spot going back to the 1600s. Sometimes I lie awake listening to the quiet, wondering if those 3 knocks were the first and only attempted contact. Or if whatever knocked that night never truly left. It's just waiting, patient, silent, for the next time someone answers the door. It was late August 2025, and my world had narrowed to one small hospital room. My mom had suffered a stroke just days earlier. Sudden, terrifying. 1 minute she was fine. The next, the ambulance lights were flashing in our driveway. I dropped everything and basically moved into the hospital. Days blurred together. Doctors' rounds, beeping machines, the sharp smell of antiseptic that never quite left your clothes. I slept in the fold-out chair beside her bed most nights. It was uncomfortable. Thin mattress, metal frame digging into my back, but I couldn't leave her. That particular night, she was finally stable enough to rest deeply. The room lights were dimmed for night mode. Only the soft blue glow from the monitors and a thin line of yellow hallway light under the door broke the darkness. I was exhausted, drifting in that hazy space between sleep and wakefulness where everything feels slightly unreal. My mind wandered. Worries about recovery, bills, what comes next. Then a sound, soft footsteps, bare feet on cold tile, slow, deliberate, coming down the long hallway outside, getting closer, then stopping, right outside our door. My eyes fluttered open. I didn't move at first. Part of me hoped it was a nurse doing rounds, but the footsteps didn't continue. They just halted. Through the narrow crack where the door wasn't fully latched, I saw them. 2 pale feet, thin, bony, toes slightly curled against the chill of the floor. No slippers, no socks. Just unnaturally white skin under the hallway light, like they hadn't seen sun in years. My pulse spiked. I told myself it's nothing. A patient wandering. A staff member without shoes for some reason. But no one entered. No clipboard rustled. No quiet, checking vitals voice. The feet remained perfectly still. Then the figure shifted, slowly. It leaned forward. Long, limp hair fell like dark curtains. A face pressed to the gap, too close to the crack. Eyes wide open, pupils huge black voids that swallowed the light. Staring directly at me. Through me, terror flooded every nerve. My chest constricted, I couldn't draw a full breath. I wanted to scream, to lunge for the call button, but my body felt locked. Heavy, like in a nightmare you can't escape. The figure didn't blink, didn't speak, just watched. Then, in one horrifying liquid motion, far too smooth and quick for any human, it jerked backward and vanished down the corridor. No slap of feet running, no echo, just gone, as if it had dissolved into the shadows. I gasped, bolting upright so fast the chair scraped the floor. Mom stirred but didn't wake. I stumbled to the door, flung it open. Empty hallway, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. No one, no nurses pushing carts, no confused patients, just the endless stretch of linoleum and closed doors. I stood there shaking, staring into the quiet. The smell of bleach was stronger now, almost choking. Morning came. I waited until shift change, then asked the day nurse casually, "Was anyone checking rooms around 3 or 4 a.m.? I thought I saw someone outside our door." She gave me a puzzled look. Night shift was short last night, only 2 nurses covering this whole wing after midnight. They stayed at the station the entire time. No one was walking the halls. Pause, let monitor beep echo, then slow. I replay that moment over and over. Those pale feet, those black eyes, the way it moved, like it wasn't bound by the same rules as the rest of us. I still visit Mom in that hospital sometimes, walk those same corridors, and every time I pass an open door at night, I hesitate, because part of me wonders if it's still there, standing just out of sight, waiting for the lights to dim again, waiting to lean in once more. Two months ago, on a crisp fall night, I was driving home alone on one of those forgotten back roads that cut through farmland and dense woods. The kind of road Americans know too well. No streetlights, no cell service half the time, just your headlights and the endless black beyond. It was 1:30 a.m. I'd worked a late shift, radio off, mind wandering. The dashboard clock glowed green. Trees loomed close on both sides, branches scratching at the sky. Then suddenly a figure burst into the beams. A woman, running straight down the center line toward me, barefoot, clothing torn and dirty, hair wild, whipping in the wind she created, arms flailing desperately. I hit the brakes hard. Tires screamed. The car skidded to a stop inches from her. She threw herself at the passenger door, yanking the handle frantically until I hit unlock. "Please drive, go now," she cried, voice hoarse and broken. "He's coming, right behind me, please God, just go." Panic took over. I slammed the accelerator. The car lurched forward. She collapsed into the seat, sobbing, clutching my arm so tight her nails dug in. Her skin was ice cold. She smelled of earth and fear sweat. "Don't stop," she whispered over and over. "Don't look back, just keep driving." I glanced in the rear view. Empty road. No pursuing headlights, no running shadow, just darkness swallowing everything behind us. We drove miles like that, her trembling, me gripping the wheel, white-knuckled. Finally, the welcome glow of a 24-hour gas station appeared. I pulled under the bright lights, engine still running. I grabbed my phone and dialed 911, told the operator everything, the road, the woman running, her terror. Police arrived quickly. They spoke to her gently, wrapped her in a blanket, took her to the hospital for evaluation. Shock, exposure, possible trauma. I gave my full statement in the parking lot under those harsh lights, described her appearance, the exact spot, the words she used. The officers listened carefully. Then one of them lowered his voice. "No missing persons reports tonight. No calls about anyone in distress on that road. We checked traffic cams at the nearest intersections. Nothing. No woman running. No one at all. They couldn't find any trace of her in the system. No name. No ID. It was like she'd materialized from the night, and then vanished from every record. They let her go with the hospital staff. I drove home shaken, replaying it all. Since then, I take that same road every few nights. Work demands it. I always slow at that exact curve. Stare into the trees on both sides. Listen for footsteps, for someone running. Nothing ever appears, but the feeling never leaves. Sometimes when the road is empty and the moon hangs low, I feel watched. From the woods, from the dark between the trunks, eyes on the car, waiting for the next person to stop. Because whatever or whoever was out there that night, I think it's still waiting. Patient, hungry for the next set of headlights to slow down,